Well, let's go into a little bit about deceit, because that's basically how people get screwed over all the time. It's not so much the direct frontal approach that works, it's always deceit. It's how you fool people, basically. That's really the method that the elitists, the totalitarians use. That's always the best method. And I'm going to give you a couple examples. I read extensively. I forget more than I forget a lot of what I read because I have been in the subject for a while. But give an example what the communists used to do. They used to outlaw religion in Soviet Union, right? Religion was considered the opiate of the people, and it was a threat to the established order. So they would have practice church services in the underground and secret locations and that type of stuff, right? So what happened was they used to have agents of the government, infiltrating this type of thing. But you know what happened? When the goons came in there and they broke the place up and they were beating up all the churchgoers and, killing the priest, they used to beat up their own informants too. In other words, they actually, not quite as severe, but they would beat them up. They would actually beat up the people that were actually working for the government so the ruse would go on undetected. That's how great lengths they go to. So with the gun control issue, I'm going to tell you an example. Even during when they had the Bolshevik Revolution, that could have easily been crushed. They had to gain the trust of the suckers, basically, and that's what disarmed them. So under no circumstances do you disarm. Under no circumstances. And actually, I'll tell you this. If you look back at what actually the best tactics are, is like, do you sit in a defensive position, like, walking around the perimeter or building up the castle walls or waiting for the enemy to attack you? No, you actually go at them first. That's actually the smarter thing to do. So, like, there's laws being passed right now that actually neutralize potential laws that may come up in the future. Like, for instance, a lawmaker in Wyoming has introduced a bill that would make it a criminal offense for anybody from the federal government to actually try to implement any kind of weapons ban, like 30-round magazine ban or semi-auto rifle ban or anything like that, against the people of Wyoming. So that's smart because there's actually going on the offense and actually being preemptive before the actual situation comes down to something. That's what you really have to do. Now, I'm going to get back to Alex Jones a little bit. I have a major suspicion of this guy. Now I'm hearing that he's possibly having a heart attack. Sure. I don't believe it. Maybe you think I'm bad. Maybe you think I'm cynical. I don't believe it. I've looked at this guy for a while. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. There is a lot of alternative media out there that's sincere. I think Jeff Rense is sincere. He talks pretty reasonable too. I like the way this guy delivers. He delivers in a nice, calm way. But on the gun issue, basically you can just look at like Larry Pratt or go to Gun Owners of America or Jews for the Preservation of Firearms Ownership and get much better people that can argue for the gun issue. But just buy one of the books by the Jews for the Preservation of Firearms Ownership, like I showed before, with genocide and Holocaust and Nazi laws that have been implemented in the United States. But I think where people are going to screw up, because this is where they screwed up before. Actually, during the Hungarian Revolution, back in the 50s, in Budapest, they brought out the revolutionaries. In other words, right now, this could be like, something where I'm actually documenting, hammering nails in my own coffin by doing this, which I realized that too. So I'm paranoid as all hell. So, anybody, if I think I'm being fucked with, I fuck with them right back though. That's the way I look at it. But that's actually how the system will work. You're going to give people rope and you're going to let the revolutionaries come out and then it'll identify everybody. That's exactly what they're going to do. And that's exactly what they did during the Hungarian uprising too. A lot of times people back during when they had Solidarity in Poland, and Lech Walesa was the new Solidarity leader. Actually, I read from Zdzisław Rarez, who was the ambassador that defected to Japan at that time. He was defected before the Soviet Union supposedly fell apart. He was stating that the Soviet naval intelligence was bringing in Lech Walesa to the protest himself, but people just want to believe this guy's like the big, solidarity leader bringing us to freedom. The whole Soviet empire basically fell apart on purpose, and there's a long-range plan to this deal. Basically, it's to meld the East with the West. The West is getting more communistic, and the former communistic are supposedly getting more capitalistic. And basically, that's going to be a hybrid system run by the elite. You can see what's going on. That's why I'm very critical of Russia today and Putin and stuff. It's pretty a big ruse being perpetrated on people. And I think Alex Jones is part of that ruse, too. I don't trust that guy at all. But I want to say one thing. Don't give up your guns for shit. That's your last defense. If you give that up, you forget about it. It might be cool for a while, but they could turn the heat up slowly at any time, and you're screwed. So, like, for instance, I'll have, 45 high-capacity magazine. Actually, I like this one just as much as the Beretta. Very accurate, 230 grain, solid lead bullets. I don't use anything fancy. This actually has the hollow points in it right now, but I like this, the plain rounds. They're very effective. They're very effective, and this is very, very accurate. Do not ever give up your weapons with some bullshit promise. That's exactly what the communists did. Actually, Russia, before the Red Communists took over, was a heavily armed society. And it would have never happened if they didn't gain their trust first. So basically, the whole method is going to be through deception. Deception is going to be the key to everything. And I say a lot in the alternative media are deceivers. I think Alex Jones is a major deceiver too. It's like he's a bad representative even if he isn't, because a lot of people could talk a hell of a lot more calm. Alex Jones will never convert a gun control advocate over to somebody that says not to have gun control. Never in a million years. You will not make new converts, not in a million years. Other people could, and that's important. Alex Jones is a hothead, and I think it's by design. So just beware, because I just wanted to bring up some of the things in past history, how great lengths they went to deceive people. They would actually even have in the secret masses in churches that they had back when they were outlawed by the Bolsheviks, they would actually have their infiltrators that went in there. They would actually be beaten too with other people to make it look good. That's how great a length they went to. The whole communist bloc falling apart, that was BS too. That was by design, that was planned, and there's a very, very long range plan to this whole deal. And gun control is a major, major, major part of it. It's actually, without that, they're screwed. So watch for deception. Deception is going to be the way they're going to do it. I know it. So I know some people might think I'm a little paranoid about this shit sometimes, but I know I'm right on the money. Look at past history, what the lengths they went to, and look at how people were misled so many times. It's like deception is the whole key to disarmament. So beware, do not give an inch, do not give an inch. And it's actually very good to be proactive all the time.